Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al-Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we will do the December update. Before to start, today's episode is provided to you by MedBoard.
MedBoard, the regulatory research and intelligence platform, is focused on solving the problem with increasing news and data and new requirements, as regulatory intelligence, post-market surveillance, clinical literature review, and many more. We are making trusted medtech information and data more accessible, creating the largest information portal search and the best tools for review, intelligence, and portfolio management. We are already changing people's lives like you by reducing tedious manual and repetitive work or saving much time. Contact us at medboard.com to learn more about us and do a free trial.
Okay, first topic of today, the common specification for Annex 16 products. So finally, it has been voted December 2nd, if I remember, or December 1st or 2nd. So we had the final text. And I wanted just to explain to you a bit more about this new thing. So first, we have the same content as what we had before related to what was in the proposal. Today, what we'll be focusing on is mainly the timelines, because this was a big discussion. On the MDR, it was saying that as soon as it is implemented, it will be a 6-month timeline, etc. Now there are some changes about that. So in terms of timeline, there are 3 different buckets where you have to look which one you are fitting on. The first one is that if you are an Annex 16 products and you want without CE marking and without previous CE marking, and you want them to be following the new EU MDR, there are 2 different options. First option, you are going for a clinical evaluation, clinical investigation, so clinical trial for your product so that you can gather clinical data about your product. If you are doing that, then you have first to have your products on the market prior to the 22nd of June 2023. So if you have your products after that date, so it means you have directly to fulfill the requirements of EU MDR. If you have your products on the market prior to the 22nd of June 2023, then what I'm saying today will be applicable. So you have your products on the market prior of the 22nd of June 2023. Then you are going for the phase where you will be making some clinical investigation for your products. So what is said on this common specification is that you can then place your device on the market under EU MDR by the 22nd of June 2028. But there are some conditions for that, and I will just summarize that to you. The conditions are that first, between the period of the 22 June 2024 and the 22 September 2024, you should have received a notification from the member state where you are applying your clinical investigation that your clinical investigation application has been confirmed. So mainly during this timeline, you have to have that. So if you have that, then you can continue to the next phase. Next phase is that between the 22nd of September 2024 until the 22nd of June 2026, you have to start your investigation, your clinical investigation. And then between the 22nd of June 2026 and the 22nd of June 2028, which is the end, you have then to have a written agreement with the notified body that they will be starting to do the conformity assessment for your product, between notified body and the manufacturer, that they will be starting to do that. Only if you have that, then you can comply with this first option related to the Annex 16. The second option for Annex 16 is if you have not planned to do any clinical investigation. In that case, same, you have first to have your products on the market prior to the 22nd of June 2023. Then you have to have a written agreement between you and the notified body saying that they will be executing a conformity assessment. And this should be available between the 22nd of June 2023 and the 22nd of June 2025. Because here, it's not 2028, the final date is 2025. So you have some reduction in terms of timeline. And the last one, which is in the case, for example, you have already a CE certificate, then if your product has been placed also on the market prior to 22nd of June 2023, then you can also benefit from a transition period. If you have a C certificate, your transition period can start from the date of the expiration of your C certificate or by the 22nd of June 2023, if it is coming before. There, you have the combination of the both timelines that we just discussed before. If your product is planned to go through a clinical investigation, then you have to go until June 2028. If your product plans to go for without clinical investigation directly for clinical evaluation, then you go for 22nd of June 2026 this time. Okay, so if we summarize, then as of now, this publication is done, so it means that you have to look for it. If you are a manufacturer that is already on the market under CE marking, you maybe are on the best situation because you have already a notified body and you have already maybe some time to execute everything. If you are a medical manufacturer that has no CE marking for medical devices and is new in this business, then maybe it will be a more difficult situation, but it's providing you more time to really evaluate and contact a notified body or contact authorities for that. So it's better than 6 months. So we have now like 2-3 years for that, which is better than the 6 months that you had. But remember, you have to have your products on the market prior to the 22nd of June 2023, which means that if you are actually in the phase of development of your product and it's planned to be on the market maybe 2023, the date of 22nd of June 2023 is critical for you. So try to accelerate all your development so that your product is on the market prior to that. And then you can benefit from this transition period. If you are not on the market at that moment, then you maybe lose this opportunity. And when you will be on the market, you need to be then certified by a notified body. Otherwise, yeah, it could be a big problem for your company. The second element of publication for Annex 16 is the reclassification. So as maybe you remember, we discussed already about that. There was some confusion about is this product class 1 or not class 1, etc. So now there was some clarification about the active devices under class Annex 16. So just as a reminder again, for the high intensity electromagnetic radiation emitting equipment that are intended for skin treatment, they are class 2B. If they are intended for hair removal, they are class 2A. For the equipment intended to be used to reduce, remove or destroy adipose tissue, this is a class 2B device. And for equipment that are brain stimulation, that are applying an electrical currents or magnetic or electromagnetic fields that are penetrating the cranium for modification of neuronal activity in the brain, then there's our class 3. So you have to take that into consideration really because if you read only the medical device regulation, you may be confused and go to the rule 13, which is talking about class 1 for devices that are not doing any treatment or whatever. But here, they are considering that those products can be dangerous, so it's why they are increasing the classification, which means that you need a notified body. So this is also something that is really important for you to plan in advance. Okay, the authorities have published what you call the updated information pack for candidate EU reference laboratories. So mainly this is a pack that is talking to the EU reference laboratories, to how they can be EU reference laboratories, to information about that. So what is important for you as a manufacturer is to understand who are these EU reference laboratories, why they are needed, because mainly they are needed for certain category of products. So you need to contact them for those category of products. They can do a pre-assessment of your product, but they can also check batches after CE marking. So mainly this is a laboratory that you will be really needing for a lot of your products. So be aware, and you can read this document, be aware of what are the criteria for selection of those companies and what are exactly their role and responsibility, so that when you are contacting them, you know already what they will ask you, you know already why they are here, etc. So this is mainly something that is really critical for you. Okay, we had the 51st CAMD meeting statement that was published. And it's interesting to read this statement because it's the competent authorities. So the CMDs, the European competent authorities for medical devices. So they are publishing a statement where they are saying mainly that there is some urgency to look at, if I can say, the EU MDR, IVDR, all those things, all those elements that should be put in place and everything. So if you want to read this statement, so you can go to the show notes and check that. But here is the sentence. So the CMD emphasized the urgent need to commence an appraisal of the practical application and operation of the regulatory system. So mainly they see also maybe the urgency of what is happening now with the EU MDR, what is maybe the catastrophe that can come later if we are not putting in place all the infrastructure, all the system in place for that. So it's great to hear that from the CAMD because, yeah, as I've said, we are talking about that since many months now, and this criticality, this urgency, this thing should be really taken seriously because we had the alert from the French authority, from the German authority that are asking maybe to push the transition period above the 2024. So this is mainly something that is now also starting to come from maybe also the competent authorities directly, because this is something that the authorities and also the manufacturers are alerting the EU Commission. So let's see how this will be going. But yeah, maybe this is the most important message that we get, is that more and more people are alerting about that. So we have the guidance MDCG 2022-16, which is the guidance on authorized representatives regulation. So this guidance is interesting. It's not providing too much information about the role and of the authorized representative. We know already about that, but there are a special chapter that is really interesting. Is about liability, termination, etc. So on the liability chapter, there is information about why the authorized representative will be liable. And here it says specifically that the authorized representative may nonetheless remain legally liable for defective devices if the manufacturer has complied with its obligation laid down, has not complied with its obligation laid down in Article 10 of the regulation. So mainly, you as an authorized representative, you have to check that the authorized representative, the manufacturer, has complied with the Article 10 of the EU MDR. I'm not sure how to verify all this, but the point is that, normally, if you are above class 1, you have a notified body that is checking your system and checking also that you are complying to Article 10. So I suppose that as long as this company has a CE certificate from a notified body, first, this is like 90% of the compliance to Article 10 is done. The rest, maybe you have to check that the technical file is still fine, that everything is okay all along the life of this company. But most dangerous thing is more about class 1 without notified bodies, where maybe here they will miss a lot of things that are mentioned in Article 10, which is maybe the thing that are most important, but we are talking about low risk devices also. So I hope that, this helps the fact that a notified body, he has to review also Article 10, and if they give a CE certificate to a manufacturer, then Article 10 should be normally compliant, and then the liability of the authorized representative is still there, but not at risk because of that. So let's see exactly. But for you, if you are authorized representative or if you are a manufacturer, read this information. One thing that is important for authorized representative, and we have that at Easy Medical Device, it is a liability insurance, so that we can help our manufacturers. And in case there is an issue, our liability insurance will take the lead for this thing. But we have still to show that we have reviewed all the information about the notified, about the authorized, about the manufacturer, so that they are compliant to the EU MDR Article 10. So we have a new notified body under EU MDR. So it's a Czech Republic notified body. So we have now 35 notified bodies under EU MDR and 7 under IVDR. So the notified body under EU MDR is INSTITUT pro TESTOVÁNI CERTIFIKACI. I cannot say that correctly because it's in Czech Republican language, I suppose. So yeah, but this is great to have an additional one. So we have 35 notified bodies, which is really great. So as usual, when there is a new notified body coming, so the idea is that if you are struggling to find notified bodies, start with this one because they are now certified under EUMDR, and maybe they'll have not this waiting list that everybody else has, because we are experiencing that each time we call a notified body, they say, oh, we have a waiting list, so you have to be on the queue, if I can say so, which is not really pleasant to hear. But yeah, as soon as we have a new notified body, the idea is to contact them first, maybe if they are qualified for your product. So you go to the Nando database and you search for the annexes that you want to be certified for, and also the MDR code that you have to use, and then you will see if this notified body is then approved for your type of products, because not all notified bodies are approved for all the products, so you have really to check that information first. Okay, last month of the year, so December. So this is last month for the Green Belt certification program, so the EUMDR training that I'm providing every month. So this one will start next week, so December 12th until December 16th. So if you still want to participate to this last training of the year, so don't hesitate, register now, and you have the link that is on the show notes. The link is school.easymedicaldevice.com/product/GB, and you choose the December month, and then you can register and be part of the participant of this last training. So this training is always updated, so we are always providing the latest information that we are receiving, because yeah, each month there is maybe some new guidelines, some new information, etc. So this is we try really to have it up to date, so don't hesitate to come. You will get all the latest information about EUMDR, and you can also ask all your questions, all the things that you really want to ask about EUMDR. Okay, let's continue with UK MHRA. So the UK MHRA has published a page with where they are talking about the borderline products. So we have also this situation in Europe where we talk about products that maybe can be medical device, maybe they can be drug, maybe they can be cosmetic, maybe they can be biocide, etc. So here there is a page that is available where you can see how you can verify a product, that if it's borderline or not, how you can really check if your product is under the medical device regulation in the UK or not, or another regulation. Remember that UK is now out of the European Union, so maybe something that is a medical device in Europe, talk maybe about Annex 16 products, for example, is not in the UK or vice versa, so it's something that can be a bit different. So don't rely just on CE marking. Look at this page and check if your product, which is borderline, is really a medical device in the UK if you want to market your products in the UK. Swissmedic, so Switzerland is also making the headlines because they have decided, or not now, but they have planned to decide to accept FDA products for their for being placed on the Swiss market, which means that you will have possibly CE mark products plus FDA approved products. So historically, Switzerland was only accepting CE mark products, but apparently with what's happening with the EUMDR, IVDR, with the fact that there are a lot of issues for some manufacturers to access the market CE mark because of that, they decided to increase the possibilities, the option for them to get new products, which can help them in case of a shortage of CE mark products in Europe because of EUMDR and IVDR, and then they open the door to the FDA for that. It's a parliament vote, so it's not done. It's a parliament vote that is asking now the federal state to do this change of the law. So I don't know when the law will be changed, but this is opening the door for that, so it will be happening. We just need now to wait for it. I put on the show notes also the video where we had this vote, so with the image and everything. Here is the image, and then mainly the idea is that you see that some changes are happening for those products. So if you are located in the US and if you are not CE mark products, you can directly, if your product is FDA approved, sell your products in the Swiss market, you just need also an authorized representative for that. So Easy Medical Device is an authorized representative in Switzerland. So if you want, we can help you also for that. But you need an authorized representative and also an importer. And Easy Medical Device also can act as importer for your product. So this is mainly something that you have to prepare. So in case you need to prepare for that, so you can also ask us at info@Easy Medical Device how we can help to help you enter also the Swiss market. So Finland is preparing for the power blackout. So there is a page that is informing healthcare facilities or everything about the power blackout that can happen in the European Union, because you know that we have like now a crisis, energy crisis in Europe, and potentially there could be some blackouts that are happening a few hours per day, for example. And here they are trying to explain the risks for the users, for the hospitals, for everything. Also the risk, for example, if you are shutting down quickly a medical device, maybe it can damage it or not. So this is also something that they are asking hospitals to check the instruction for use for medical devices. So if you are a manufacturer of medical devices, and if there is a potential risks for your products that are maybe at the hospitals or even working anywhere, maybe informing your customers about the situation. Should there be a special equipment that are avoiding this problem? Should there be some elements to be added to their products? So this is mainly what you have to inform your customers. But the Finland FIMEA is just alerting the authority about this possibility. Okay, so in the rest of the world, we have the USA, so United States of America. They have created templates for emergency use acts for the antigen diagnostic tests for monkeypox. So mainly if you have those kind of tests that are needed in the US, or you want to place them in the US, you can use the EUA for placing that as soon as possible in the US market. And they have created a template directly where you have just to get this template to fill the information there and to send them this emergency use act. So where you can then go to the market quickly without following the route that we have done. We had already used that and talked about that before when there was the COVID situation, when they needed a lot of masks, a lot of tests, a lot of things. So they were using also this kind of route for placing on the market. And here it's specifically for the monkeypox antigen diagnostic tests. Then we have the newsletter, Medicine newsletter. So it's always an interesting read, this newsletter, because there are a list of all the issues that are happening with some devices. And this is interesting for consultants to know about potential issue for some devices. If you are working with multiple customers, then having an understanding of potential issues can help you with maybe your customers' projects to identify that within the risk management files. But for manufacturers that have some of those competitors on the list, you can see also what kind of issue happened to their products, and then try to see if this is something that happens to you. So as I said, I had some interesting reads when I looked at it for some fillers, for example, that were absorbed by the body and that were creating some issues for some patient, or some hair, how to call that, that were used for anesthesia and it was leaking, etc. So this was really some interesting reads. So if you are liking to understand what our issues can happen with medical devices, and read that just to get that on your list and think of it when you are making a risk analysis also. Okay, Canada is updating their list of recognized standards for medical devices. So you have mainly all the standards. Just one that I was looking for was not there, which is the ISO 13485 2016. So I know that the Canada is now using MDSAP for their quality review, but ISO 13485 is also part of MDSAP. So I'm not sure if this is a miss or if this is something that was made on purpose, that ISO 13485 is not recognized as an harmonized standard for Canada, but mainly, as I've said, it's all on MDSAP, it's used for MDSAP, so it's embedded inside MDSAP. So not sure why it's not listed, but this is the only thing that I was looking at. So check the list again from your side. Check if your products or your standards are harmonized in Canada so that you can use them. If your products are not harmonized, this can be, or maybe there is another standard that is listed. Maybe they will be asking you why you have used this standard when there is an harmonized one for the Canada thing. But normally, a lot of countries are aligned in what is an harmonized standard. So this is why there should be not a lot of discrepancies here. So we have in Canada also the list of medical devices for mandatory shortage and discontinuation reporting. So this is a list of products that if you have a shortage of those products or discontinuation of those products, you have to alert the Canadian authority. I suppose these are some critical products, so it's why it's really important for the Canada authority to understand when there is a discontinuation or shortage, so that they can maybe put in place some systems. I don't think we have this kind of thing in Europe or somewhere else, but I'm happy to see that, yeah, for Canada, this is really something that is public, and we know exactly which type of products are there. So you can see that on the show notes. If your products, if you are selling first to Canada, check this list. And if your products are on the list, so it means that anytime there is a shortage or there is a discontinuation, you have to alert the authorities like you are doing for a vigilance reporting, just to tell them, hey, we will be stopping this because of that, or we have a shortage because we missed some raw material or whatever, so that they are aware and they know if there is still some capacity for hospitals to receive those type of devices. Okay, in Bahrain, we have an alert in terms of registration. So if you are a medical device and supplies authorization representative in Bahrain, a medical device importer and supplier for the region, you have normally to register yourself within the authorities, and you have to do that prior to January 2020. So now this month, do it now. I will put that on the show notes so that you can see again this alert. But if you are selling to Bahrain, if you are a distributor, or if you have an importer in this region, then contact them just to ask them, are you registered on the database? Everything is fine. Is it okay? Because if they are not, they will not be able to supply any more of the products to the region. So better to maybe contact them now and get their understanding. Maybe they know about it, so which is fine, but maybe they don't know. So mainly you have made the good job to alert them. But yeah, in Bahrain, there is a situation. So it's a circular number 35 2022, and I will put that in the show notes for you to review. So if you look for an authorized representative or an importer in the European region, so don't hesitate to contact us at Easy Medical Device, so info@easymedicaldevice.com, and I will share that with all the people that are working on it. So mainly we are working as authorized representative in Europe, Switzerland, UK, so through our offices. So don't hesitate to also choose Easy Medical Device, because we are one entity that will be managing you for the 3 regions for Europe, Switzerland and the UK. So I hope you will be enjoying working with us. Okay, now let's talk about podcasts. So the podcast of the month, so we had episode 205, which is with Cesare Magri, where we talked about software and IVD clinical reports that were not done correctly. So if you are doing a clinical evaluation for your software or your in vitro diagnostic product, or performance evaluation mainly for that also, then listen to this episode, because Cesare Magri from For Better Devices is providing you some insight of mistakes that he's always seeing about those kind of devices. So which is really a great thing to alert you and to help you then to be better. Then episode 206, we had the regulatory pathway. So how to reach the US market with the company. Then we have episode 206, which is the regulatory pathway, how to reach the UK market, with Dr. Sumorakchit from Mystery Vibe. So we talked about how to reach the US market, what are the different challenges. I'm trying always to have some kind of manufacturers that went through some regulatory pathway, so that they can explain to us their challenges and how they have been able to go there. Was it easy? Was it not easy? How what are maybe the things that they would not have done again if they have to redo it. So this is always good information to share and to then share with you, and so that you can also learn if it's the first time you go to the US, maybe listening to this kind of companies and how they have done that can help you to overcome some of the challenges. Then we have episode 207, why risk management is important for medical device development. So we talked with Kailash Kalidos about how risk management should be implemented, when should be implemented, in the design phase, should it be done later, be at the beginning, etc. So this is really an introduction to risk management. So if you are having a risk management through ISO 14971, maybe listening also to that will help you to understand the challenges and maybe the things that are important to consider when you are doing this exercise with your team. And episode 208, we had Jen Scully from Twinzo that is talking to us about sterilization for medical devices, which is a topic that we always have. I'm participating to a lot of design projects, and each time we arrive at a stage where we say, okay, we need to do packaging, and then we have to do sterilization, which sterilization method, which packaging method, which etc. So this is mainly the challenges that we have. So here with Jen Scully, we are talking about how to choose the best method, what are the things to consider, which methodology maybe can be a problem or not a problem, how your risk management also, because we talked about risk management just before, how this can help for making the right decision. So don't hesitate to look at this episode 208 with Jen Scully. So this is the end of this regulatory update for December. So it will be the end of the last one for this year. So next year, the one from January will be happening beginning of January. So then I wish you happy holidays. I wish you a lot of time, a good time with your family also, and I hope you will have a restful end of the year with the Christmas period and with the New Year. So thank you again. Don't hesitate also to subscribe to this podcast, because it will help also to grow the channel, also to share that with your colleagues, and to also, if you can, place a comment at the end of the podcast, just to at the end of the on the comments of the episode in the YouTube channel, just to say that if you like what I'm doing here and if these information are really helpful to you. So thank you again for your help. Thank you again for all the messages that I'm receiving from you. Really helpful for me to then continue to do this kind of episode. Okay, so thank you very much, and I wish you a nice day.